Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to talk about something on my channel that I haven't discussed publicly other than, my private Facebook, but I haven't really talked about it up here. And I've been really absent because of this situation. As you read from the title, I don't know if you searched the video by, Incompetent Cervix, or if you searched it from child loss or, miscarriage, or I don't know how you came across it, but I just wanted to tell my story because today is March 7th, which makes exactly 4 months since we lost our little baby. So I just want to go back to when I found out I was pregnant. I found out on August 15th of 2018. I was 5 weeks. I had missed my period, and I, was so happy. I told my husband immediately, and he was just even happier. We were just so happy to be, starting our own families together. He does have an 8-year-old son, but we have been wanting to have kids together. So we were just super excited to, start that journey and, start that new chapter. Sorry, I have his little, some clothes that I had bought him, so it kind of makes me emotional when I look at his little clothes that I had when I found out it was a boy. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you now, but so I can get that part out of the way. But I'm really, I've already sat down to film this video a few times. Isn't that cute? Oh my goodness. I've already sat down to film this video, but I just couldn't get through it. So I'm trying to keep this light and not so dark, because I do want, this is a little sleep sack, so that when he's sleeping, we can just unzip this all the way down and change his diaper if we have to. Oh my gosh, so cute. But and then this little outfit. This was my favorite. This is what I wanted to bring him home in. This is a newborn, but I was like, I want to bring him home in this. How cute. Like, look at it. It has the little collar thing. Oh my goodness. But so anyway, okay, sorry, back to the story. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. But okay, so we found out, we were super happy. We found out what we were having at 11 weeks, 11 and a half weeks, because we did the sneak peek blood test that you mail off and get back the results in the email. So we did that, and we found out it was a boy. So we had a little gender reveal with just me, him, and Jordan, which is my boyfriend's son. We had, because he wanted a boy so bad. He wanted another little brother. He already has a little brother with his mother, but he wanted another little brother. And I was like, I wanted a girl, but okay. But anyway, so we were super excited having him find that out, and we did record a little video. Let me know if you guys want to see that. I don't know how I feel about posting it, but just let me know. It is a cute little memory that I put together. But so fast forward to November 4th, 2018. This was a Sunday. I was at my husband's parents' house, and we were playing kickball. Jordan and I were playing kickball. I had just turned, that same day, I was 16 weeks, because my weeks changed on Sundays. So I was 16 weeks exactly on November 4th. And we were playing kickball, and after we played kickball for about 30 minutes, I kind of felt very tired, just like overtired, and I just felt like I needed to lay down. So I actually ended up going into my husband's old room and laying down and sleeping. So then we, of course, he woke me up when it was time to go home. So we went home, and I again went to sleep, just laid down, tried to get some rest, because I just wasn't feeling up to par. And I don't know if I really overdid it with the kickball, but it just, everything was meant to happen the way it happened anyway. But I just, I guess I kind of regret playing kickball, because I feel like that's what kind of kicked the pains into motion. So I had pains from Sunday afternoon all the way to Monday morning. So Monday morning, I get up like normal and go to work. I'm feeling bad, but I'm like, let me just press on and go to work. I went to work Monday, and I stayed for no more than like hour or two before I went in my supervisor's office, and I was like, I'm having pain. I need to just go to the doctor and figure out what's going on. And so I called before I left work, and she was like, yeah, go ahead. So I called my OBGYN's office, and they put me on the line with the nurse triage, or the triage line. And which she called me right back, because I had to leave a voicemail. And so she called me right back and was asking me what was going on. And I said I was having stomach pains. I am 4 months pregnant. I just want to see what's going on. And she was like, okay, yeah, come on in. We have an opening at such and such time. So I left work and went straight to my OBGYN, which is about 20 minutes away. And I went by myself. Because again, I just wanted to see what was going on. I didn't feel like my husband needed to get off work and come with me, so I just went by myself. So when I got there, the nurse who I saw, she is a nurse practitioner. She's not a real obstetrician, I would say, but she is not. She is a nurse practitioner, but she is she gives birth. She delivers babies as well, but she is also the one that I had been dealing with since the day I found out I was pregnant. Even before that, she was doing my pap smears yearly. She was the one that I would see. So I guess that's why they just went ahead with my pregnancy and put me with her, because there's 7 doctors at the clinic, and we rotate, but I hadn't you don't start seeing all the doctors until 20 weeks, because they want you to get they want you to be familiar with one, and then at 20 weeks, you see a different one each time, because there's no guarantee who will, y'all are familiar with that, there's no guarantee who will deliver your baby with the rotating doctors. So I had not met any other doctors yet. I had only been dealing with her. And so she was there, and, I was in her room, and the first thing she did was, of course, she asked me what was going on, and then she got out her Doppler to check his heartbeat. And so his heartbeat was very strong, still strong. And, she said, well, my pains could have been from me being dehydrated. I just need to drink more water, which, of course, I drink a lot of water. Like, everybody around me knows that I drink a lot of water, but I just kind of, said, okay, maybe I'm not drinking enough, because this was the farthest I've had 2 miscarriages very early, like one at 5 weeks and one at 7 weeks. So this was the farthest I had ever gotten. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm not drinking enough. Maybe I need to, I do have another person. So I did, I took that advice and was going to start drinking more water. And so she doesn't do a vaginal ultrasound. She doesn't do a, regular ultrasound either. She just did that, heartbeat check. She also said that the pains could also be from growing pains, because she said, of course, at this time he was going to start growing faster at a more rapid pace. So she said, well, since you're here today, because I actually had my regular visit scheduled for that Thursday. And she said, well, since you're here today, we're just going to go ahead and cancel your appointment for Thursday. And, this appointment will schedule from here for your next 4 weeks. And so I was like, okay, that's fine. I understand. So, what she said at that next appointment, we were going to actually do the real gender ultrasound, because I found, of course I told her that I found out through the sneak peek blood test, but she was like, well, we'll still do the gender just to verify that it's really a boy. And I was like, okay, of course, because I hope it's a boy, because I've already bought things. So anyway, we had that scheduled, and then I left. So as soon as I left, it seemed like the pain amplified. I mean, guys, it amplified big time. Like, everything turned up. Like, I went straight home. Like I said, about 20 minutes away, I went straight home, and oh my goodness, these pains were the worst thing that I had ever felt in my life. They were in my stomach. They were not vaginal pains, but they were in my stomach. And I was like, oh my God. But it would come and go. And so I didn't know at the time, but now I know that I was actually having contractions, full-blown contractions, but I did not know, because I had never had contractions before. I never had baby. So, but now I know that those were contractions that I was experiencing, but I did not know. And so those pains, they would come and then they would go. It was like, and it would last about a minute, and then they would go. Probably about 10 minutes later, another one. Okay, boom. Then, you know, it started getting closer and closer, and it was just unbearable. All day Monday, all day Tuesday. I mean, so then Tuesday evening, my husband was like, okay, I'm tired of seeing you this way. You're not yourself. I couldn't cook. I couldn't walk. Like, it was literally like I could not walk. Like, I could not get, like, he had to, for me to get out of bed, and because I had been laying in bed all day. I called out of work Tuesday, by the way. But he had been, to help me get out of bed, he had to, because if he did one leg at a time and my legs spread apart, I was screaming in pain. So he had to keep my ankles together and, like, pull me out of bed, like, just at once. I had to, like, because my it was like I needed my stomach to be straight, like flat. Like, I did not want to bend it. That's how bad my pains were. So then, okay, so like I said, he was like, I'm tired of seeing you like this. You're not yourself. You know, you could barely walk. So he was like, we're going back to the doctor tomorrow, and, like, they're going to tell us something. They're going to check on him, and I want to see him. And so I was like, okay, yes. Thank you, yes. So Wednesday morning at about 7 a.m., he had already told his boss that he wasn't coming in either. So Wednesday morning, I called the triage again, got the same person. She called me back, the nurse, and she said, you know, yeah, come on back. You know, she had checked my records and was like, you just got here Monday. And I was like, listen, these pains are at a 10 now. They're no longer at a 4 or 5, which I had said Monday. And she was like, okay, well, come on in. So we just went. We just dropped everything. We went. And this was Wednesday, November 7th. And so we got there, we got to the doctor, and this time I knew that my nurse practitioner would not be there because she is only there on Mondays and Thursdays, and then she works at another clinic. Like, she doesn't just, she travels. So anyway, I knew that she wasn't going to be there, but this was Wednesday. And so I was like, I'm not waiting, you know, till tomorrow for her, just to see her. So we just went. And I met, I'm just going to say Dr. B. He was the doctor that came in, and so the first thing he did again was check for the heartbeat, and this time we couldn't get the heartbeat. We just couldn't. He was like, stand up, walk around a little bit, you know, and then lay back down, and then there was no heartbeat. And so I was like, oh my gosh. So he was like, don't worry about it. Sometimes, you know, these little babies were so young, they, cause he was like, you know, you're still early in your pregnancy. Sometimes it's hard to find them. But we're going to go and do a, ultrasound and, see what's going on with the fella. So he was very nice, very friendly. Like I said, this was the first time I had ever met him. So, you know, but I wasn't like in that mindset. I was just trying to figure out what was going on with me and my baby. So we went to the ultrasound room, and the ultrasound tech, she was very quiet. You know, she did the ultrasound, and she was just staring at her screen. She wasn't really saying anything to us, you know, and then all of a sudden my doctor came in the room. So that doctor, Dr. B came in the room. So I assumed that she saw something that she didn't like, and then so she typed it to him because he just came in and went straight to the monitor as well with her. And then he was like, okay, I see. And so he never said anything about what he saw, but he was just like, okay, so now let's do a vaginal exam. So, you know, he got my legs up on the stirrups or whatever. I always call them stirrups, you know. Every time I get a pap smear, I always call them stirrups. But he put my legs up there, and he was like, okay, you know, and then he did his check, and he was like, wow, it was like hard for him to even say it. Me and my husband were holding hands very, very tight throughout the whole thing of you know, it's just crazy. And so he was just like, wow, you are 4 centimeters dilated. Your membranes are bulging out. You know, you're going to be having this baby today. I said, I could not process. It's still, everything happened so fast that day. which is really why I wanted to do this sooner, but I just couldn't. But I don't want to forget, which is why I'm doing it. But he said, we have to have this baby. We you have to have this baby today. He said, I'm the doc, I can hardly say it, but anyway, he was just like, there's no heartbeat. The baby is not living. It's not no longer living. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, but what happened? I just came here Monday and it was a heartbeat. I mean, he was very strong. It was the same, like 165, beats per minute. I mean, she told me it was growing pains. She told me it was nothing. And he was like, I'm so sorry. I wish, he said, I wish she had have done a vaginal exam. She would have seen that you were probably already dilated then. You were in labor. You've been in labor since Sunday. I just could not process that I had been in labor. It's something that I just I wasn't ready for it, but there was no choice because at that time I had to get him out. So it was basically like, it just had to be done. It wasn't enough time for me to process it. Very, very sad day. But, sorry. Very, 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 very sad day. I'm trying to make some tissue. Okay. So let me just move on with the story. So we leave the clinic and we go to the hospital, which is like a few blocks away. And my husband and I are just not talking. We're just both very sad, very emotional, because we're like, what happened? What happened? Like, never thought that. It was just crazy. We were so happy. So it was just how did everything our world just turned upside down basically. With the news. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. So anyway, get to the hospital. And the doctor had already told them to expect us. So we went to the women's center, the women's area, and they already had a room for me. Very nice nurses. But I couldn't believe it. So my husband, he had already called my mom and my dad and his parents. He had already called all of our parents to tell them, go ahead and come on up here. This has to be done, and this is because I didn't want to, but I did want our family to be a part of it, because he asked me, do you want to just wait till after to tell him what happened? And I was like, no, we need support, and they need to have a chance to say their goodbyes to their grandbaby. So it's just so hard. This is what I'm saying. It's just hard. So anyway, by the time I get to the doctor, I'm already 8 centimeters, like from that 45 minutes of checking in and getting in my bathrobe, my hospital gown. I went through that quick to like 8 centimeters, 7 or 8 centimeters. And he was like, you're doing great. Because at this point, I wasn't even feeling any pain anymore. Like, I was still in pain, but I just wasn't like feeling it. Like, I was just numb, basically. Like, I was trying to enjoy the last little time with being pregnant. My husband and I we were just like so connected at this time, because it was just like, this wasn't just happening to me, it was happening to both of us, that like we were losing our child that we like talked about all day, every day. We were in love with him already, like, watching my stomach grow, and the plans, because when you find out you're having a baby, you make so many plans. You already immediately, try to get a girl name, try to get a boy name, just make so many plans. Oh, my baby's going to be this, or my baby's going to do that, and it was just, it went from like the best thing in the world to just like, wow, like, we have to give birth to him and you're only 4 months pregnant. And you actually have to push him out, because this is not the normal situation. This isn't just a miscarriage where they're like, and that's what really got me, because I did not, like, I had to be 10 centimeters dilated. They were like, do you want an epidural? I'm like, no. Because I never, even before this situation, I always, I wanted to give birth naturally. I did not want an epidural. That was like what my goal was. But I also want to have my baby, you know, regular. But when the time came, I would have wanted to have a natural birth. And so, but at this time anyway, I was like, well, I'm already 8 centimeters. Like, I made it this far. I think I can get to 10, you know. No, I don't want any epidural at this time. So they were like, well, you're a rock star. Like, we just don't understand how you went through all this pain and you're not, I didn't even bleed. I never bled, which is like, they kind of were, you know, they were questioning like, how did you not bleed? Because if I had a bled, then I would have already known like, okay, you know, we lost them. But I never once bled. I never had any discharge or anything like that. So that's where it's kind of, you know, just one of those mysteries or whatever. So I gave birth to him at around 3 o'clock. And we had time with him. He was so beautiful. He's an angel now. We named him. We had already named him. His name was Jet Ahmad Creech. I have this necklace in honor of him. It says JAC on the front, and on the back it is November 7th, 2018 in Roman numerals. My best friend Kelsey got me this about a week after I gave birth. So I wear it every single day. I wear it all day, every day. I wear it every day because it just makes me feel so connected to him. And so that's what happened. I do have what I was diagnosed with, because I went and did a follow-up appointment December 3rd. So that was like excuse me. My follow-up was sooner than that. So my follow-up was like the next Wednesday. So 7 days later, but then I had another appointment December 3rd. But the next week I had a follow-up for them to check me and see like, okay, are you healing right? And going through the healing of giving birth, the pain, but not having the baby that you just went through all that pain with was probably the hardest part of it. It wasn't, giving birth was a breeze. Honestly, like having him was not hard. Like I said, I had him in like a push, like 2 pushes. I pushed him out. But having to come home and then like have to deal with the healing and like the bleeding and the pain, the stomach pains, the lightning crotch, just like all those things, which might be TMI, but you know, come on, we're grown. If you're watching this video, then obviously you're grown. But having to deal with all that, but not have my baby as the reward, I would say, you know, because you always hear those women like, I would do it 10 times over, and it's so worth it to have my beautiful baby. But you know, I didn't have the baby afterwards, so that just made it even more like, I would say, you know, I don't want to use this, but depressing, because I'm like, damn, I got to go to the bathroom again to change this freaking, or to, you know, I'm bleeding, and it's like, but my baby's not here. My baby's, you know, gone. I'm like not pregnant anymore, you know, was just so hard. And so at the follow-up appointment, the doctor said, you know, you have what is called incompetent cervix, which is basically weak cervix. I've done so much research since that day. I know a lot about it now, but if you don't know what it is basically that in your second trimester or third or whatever, but usually the second, because my cervix is weak. When he got to a certain weight, I started to dilate and I started to be in labor, because it was basically like my cervix was it's trash. Like, I guess, I mean, I don't know. I know that's, but I have a weak cervix, and it caused my baby to pass away. It caused me to be in early labor. Now, I will say, there's a lot of research you can do, and if you know anything about incompetent cervix, the Monday prior that I spoke about if she had have did a vaginal check, and this is not me just saying it, this is what the doctor who delivered my baby, Dr. B, said. If she had have done a vaginal check, I could have got a preventative or a rescue cerclage. Basically, a cerclage is a stitch to keep my cervix closed. I would have been on bed rest. My baby would have been still alive to this day, but since my cervix, since I was dilated, he couldn't stay alive for those 2 days. But Monday, if she had have done a vaginal check on me, she would have saw that I was starting to dilate, and I could have went ahead and got that cerclage. So that part also is very depressing. But I also know that everything happens for a reason. I am a believer that everything happens for a reason. I know that God would not have put more on me or my husband than we could bear. I feel like I am stronger today than ever. I feel like I went through something that I would not wish on my worst enemy ever. And it's just something that brought us closer. We were best friends before, but now, like, we know we can get through anything. He's never lost a child. I've never lost a child that way, where I had this was the worst thing that we ever went through, both of us. So we leaned on each other. We still lean on each other through this situation. And I'm just thankful that we have each other. I'm thankful that I didn't have to go through this alone. But this is my story. I thank you so much. If you're still here looking at this video, thank you so much for watching. Yeah. Oh, wait. Okay. I did want to show you this. This is the box that our hospital gave us after we gave birth. And I did want to show this so that I don't forget, which I'll never lose it anyway. But these are my baby's footprints. And they actually put our precious baby boy, born November 7th, 2018. And they actually did these footprints. And I was blown away. I was like, wow. I was blown away. Just absolutely blown away, those footprints. I mean, they're the most beautiful feet I've ever seen, my baby. But they gave some other things, but they gave like a little angel gown. They gave a ring that they actually put on him, and I took pictures in. And I put some other stuff in the box, my hospital bracelet from where we were, and my socks that I wore when I was in labor, my labor socks. So yeah, these are some things that I'll always have. Oh my goodness, and I forgot about this. These are all the nurses. They signed this for me. They've signed this card. The most beautiful thing. Like, they were so sweet. They all signed this card, so I'm so thankful for them. Yeah, but that's my video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that if anybody is going through something similar, or I just know that you can get through it. It is the hardest thing, but you can get through it. One day we will try again, but I think right now we're just still healing. But I want you to know that you will get through it. You can get through it. Just pray. Keep people around you that you love, and that love you, and that can support you. I think that infant loss, and this is something that people don't talk about often, and some people just really don't talk about it at all. But it is something that happens every single day to people. So I just want to say, stay strong, and know that you're not alone. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.